Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's live virtual event. My name is Cassidy Quintana. I am a marketing coordinator here at Travel Media Group, and I am so excited to be here with you all today. Our first webinar of 2025 and our first edition of our social success series this year, Bridging the Traveler's Journey with Social Media. I'm so pumped for our topic today. I'm so excited for our social success series that we have going on this year. So before we jump in, I do have a couple of things just to go over real quick. If you're not seeing myself as well as the presentation, you want to make sure that you can see both of those things so you don't miss anything. There's a few buttons on the bottom. Mess around with those. Make sure you can see both myself as well as the presentation. Second of all, there's going to be a lot of great information in this presentation. Feel free to take notes, screenshots, anything you prefer. But I do want to point out, if you're like me and you can only pay attention to one thing at a time, we will be sending this recording after the conclusion of the webinar. So feel free to just sit back, relax, soak it all in, and then you can take some screenshots and notes from that recording. So also, really exciting news from Travel Media Group. We get a lot of questions all the time if we offer any courses or certifications that people can be involved in. So first, we are launching this new thing this year with our social success series. It is called Hotel Social Media Champion Badge. So what is this? What does it mean? This year, if you know, last year, if you attended our social success series last year, we had 4 different sessions. This year, it's going to be around the same 4 or 5. If you attend every single one from now until our last one towards the end of the year, you will receive this badge. So I want to preface that you have to attend every single one to receive this badge. Obviously, I know you're thinking, I'm busy, I work in hotels, what if I can't attend on that specific date and time? The good news is, if you register for the event just like you did for this one, you receive the recording, we will be able to access who watches it at no matter time when you watch it, right? So if you can't attend that time, register, watch it back, you'll still be in the running to receive your badge. This is also good news if you're on this call thinking, hey, my team, my coworkers would love to participate in this. They're still able to go back and register for this first event and be in the running for the badge as well. So at the end of the year, once you've completed it, you will get sent this badge. If you post it on LinkedIn, tag Travel Media Group, you will also be entered in a chance to win a social content creation basket. This is super exciting because I know we're talking about social media, right? We want to have the best stuff to make the content. You'll receive a tripod, some microphones, and some lighting, all that you can use with your cell phone to capture all that good content. So with that in mind, keep that in mind, share this with your team afterwards. We are going to jump right in with a poll just so I can get an idea of where we are at. How would you rate the effectiveness of your 2024 social media strategy? So going back, everything you did over the past year, how did that look? Very effective, you're seeing the results you want. Mixed results, some work, some don't. Not effective, you're not seeing the results you want, or you're not sure because you haven't even looked. So I'll give you some time to think about this poll, just going back, thinking about that strategy. What did that look like for you? Give you a few more seconds to answer this. All right, perfect. Let's go ahead and move forward. Mixed results, some work and some don't. This is honestly where a lot of people across all industries sit at. The beautiful thing about social media is that this is usually the case, right? You try out things, some things stick, some things don't, but this is always good to know because when you look back at the year, you know, right now we're in January, we're thinking about content ideas for this next year. It's always important to go back and look to see what worked and what didn't in the previous year so you know how to move forward. So thank you for filling out that poll. It's always useful information. For those of you that you're not sure, you haven't looked yet, go back and look, right? Social media has a lot of tools for you to look at your analytics to see how everything performed. This is key to before you even start posting in 2025 to know where you're sitting at. So today's topic, we're bridging the traveler's journey with social media. When I think about the traveler's journey, I'm thinking about 4 stages, right? 4 big questions I want to ask myself when I'm thinking, are we accomplishing that? Are we bringing travelers from the beginning of the bridge all the way till the end? So that first stage is the pre-booking and search, right? Somebody knows they want to go on a trip. They're probably not sure where they want to go yet. Definitely don't know where they're going to stay. They're just doing some initial research online. The first question I want you to think about when thinking about your property social media if you manage multiple properties overall, how discoverable are those pages on social media? So on a scale of 1 to 10, 1, I don't think people are seeing us at all, to 10, like we're in front of everybody. So just keep that in mind when we're thinking about pre-booking and search. Stage 2 is the post-booking pre-stay, right? So someone's booked with us, but there's still some time in between their stay. Are you getting those people excited about their stay? Are they seeing content on social media that's getting them pumped up? Stage 3, we obviously move into the on-site guest experience. Do guests know what is happening during their stay? When they're with you, are you posting content that relates to them, lets them know what's happening? And then stage 4 is post-stay. Do these people want to stay connected with you, right? They've checked out, they've gone on their way. Are they unfollowing your page, or do they still want to stay connected with you? So before we jump into the nitty-gritty of each stage, I want to talk a little bit about how the landscape of travel has changed over time, because it is completely different than it used to be, right? Back before even we had the internet, hotels were having to get their name out there through brochures, travel guides, travel magazines. And for the traveler, they're trusting everything they see, right? Because this is the only picture view that they're going to have of this property or wherever they're going to go. They're believing everything they see and hear. And on the property side, this is stressful because you're spending thousands of dollars to bring in a production company, cameras, lights. You have to get the perfect shot. We've got one take. We're going to be in this one magazine. We have to make sure everything is right. And even if you didn't have the money to do that, you're even worse off, right? You're just hoping that word of mouth, someone passes through, they find your property, you're banking on that. Now, obviously, we moved into the internet stage where we could have websites, but it's the same idea. We've got one shot. We didn't make sure all these photos are perfect, that we're putting our best foot forward, that everybody knows what to expect with our property. Now we've moved into social feeds, right? I can take this device, go around my property, take 5 photos, and with a click of a button, I can share it with the whole world, right? That's awesome. It's a little scary too, because, people can post whatever they want on social media, but it's great for properties because you have the chance to now meet these travelers at every stage of their journey where they're at, right? We can go around, take photos of anything and everything, share it, and everybody knows what to expect when they come stay with us. So people are no longer blindly trusting guidebooks, right? We are now trusting those real life experiences and visual reviews that the property is posting or people that have stayed at the property are posting. So I want to look at a few stats just because I know these are important for a lot of people, and it's great to know this information because it just proves that social media is continuing to grow, continuing to be that source of information for travelers. So 75% of travelers are inspired to go to a specific destination or property by social media, right? 57% of those people are likely to capture content for their social media accounts. Put yourself in the traveler's shoes, right? We're all travelers too. I know I take millions of photos when I travel, probably too many photos, right? But I want to remember where I stayed, what I loved about it, all the things I did. And of course, I'm going to go post that on my social media because I want other people to know everything that I was doing, right? So with that, 66% of people trust reviews posted by others. So of course, in this mindset, we're thinking about our own properties page, things we can post. It's also important to remember that those travelers are also trusting content posted by other people. So social listening is extremely important. I want to bring your attention to the stat on the bottom too. 79% of posts receive higher engagement with the location tag. Just keep this in mind because it'll be important to one of our stages later on, but this is super important to remember. So again, we are no longer passive consumers. We want to be active participants in our travel journey. So what are some ways that social media impacts travel decisions besides just your profile, right? We obviously know influencers have changed the game. People are more likely to trust influencers just because they like them. They're into the same things. They trust their reviews, but also UGC. This is really important for properties that don't work with influencers, which is the majority, right? UGC is important because we go back to that stat of people trust UGC content. That's more authentic to them because they're more willing to trust a real review rather than just the property. Real-time reviews, again, we're going to trust people's reviews online. If they're posting about it, it's most likely either because they had a great time or they had a terrible time, right? And this is information that travelers want to know. Visual representation. I'm so guilty of this because I recently went to Mexico with some friends. And although I did not plan the trip, I didn't even book this day. I knew nothing about the place. They sent me the name of it. I said, okay, I'm going to go do my own research, right? I went to TikTok, I went to Instagram, I searched the name. I probably watched like 30 videos, looked at photos. I knew what restaurants they had. I knew all the amenities they had. I even recognized some of the people at the front desk when I got there, right? And of course, I'm not going to say, hey, I saw you on Instagram, but this is the stuff that people want to know. And this is good for the property because there's no surprises, right, when these guests arrive. So inspiration, increased travel knowledge equal influence travel decisions. Excuse me. Okay, so stage 1, we're in the pre-booking and search. How discoverable is your hotel on social media? Excuse me, I know everybody's getting sick. I'm recovering from mine as well. 4 ways travelers find your hotel's content. 1, they follow your page already, right? They've either stayed with you, they've seen you, they follow your page. People they follow engage with your content, so this can include their friends posting about it on their story or their page. Targeted social ad spend, so you're putting ads out. Excuse me. This is really important for us at Travel Media Group because we put a lot of thought into the content that we're boosting for our hotel partners, right? Obviously, you can build an audience organically, but it's always helpful to put some ad spend behind your posts and get in front of new eyes. And the For You page, Explorer page. Just like we know how the algorithm works on social media, right? Our algorithm feeds us stuff that it thinks we want to see. This goes back to how discoverable is your hotel. We're going to get into some ways you can make sure you're popping up on these feeds. Consistently build brand awareness. We know we're building our profiles, we're getting more followers. It's always important to go back to the well, post about what your property is all about, what your amenities are. Optimize for searchability. Excuse me. This goes back to that stat I was talking about, how posts receive more engagement with a location tag. This post, for example, has this tag. They have the location. This is extremely important when we go back to talking about the algorithm, because if I'm searching hotels to stay in Orlando and you haven't tagged your property in Orlando with the location, you're more likely not going to show up, right? Same with hashtags. You want to include hashtags because the algorithm, people like to search on Instagram and TikTok keywords. If you're not using those tags, you're not going to show up. Inspire travel decisions. If you know that there's an event coming to your city, whether that be, it's snowing, we know people are coming to ski, there's a concert coming, there's a conference coming, use that to get people to your property. Like, hey, are you coming to Anchorage to ski? Make sure you come check out our property and stay with us. Encourage direct bookings. All the time, we know from polls that we've done, people, their goal on social media is to increase direct bookings, right? The best way to do that is to include links. On Facebook, LinkedIn, and X, you're able to use links in your caption. Utilize this. Instagram, TikTok, it's a little bit more difficult, but these are things that you need to capitalize on and include in your strategy to make sure that you're discoverable. Okay, stage 2, post-booking pre-stay. Are we getting users excited to come stay with us? Create anticipation. Going back to that same thing, if you know there's an event coming up, make sure you post about that, right? People want to know what's happening when they're going to be there. Engage with guests before arrival. This is important because people want to know what to expect when they get there, just like I was looking up that property. I wanted to know everything about it before I got there, right? So this property posted, hey, we know it's cold outside, but still bring your swimsuits for the kids because our pool is heated. Upselling opportunities. I know a lot of properties may have a spa. This is great to post about, but even for the smaller properties, you most likely have a market downstairs probably that you sell food and drinks in. You may have a Starbucks or some kind of coffee shop. You may even have a restaurant and bar. Making sure that you're putting all that information out there so, again, people know what to expect and they can get excited for that kind of stuff. Stage 3 is the on-site guest experience. Do guests know what is happening during their stay? And before I jump into these examples, I want to mention that even though this says stage 3, we're talking to people in this post that are staying with us right now. This is still speaking to travelers at stage 1 and stage 2, right? For this example specifically, hey, we have fresh popcorn in the lobby today, 2 from 6. Not only is that speaking to the people that are there right now, those that are still in the first and second stages, like, hey, check out what this property is doing. We should remember that, or we should stay with them because they do this kind of stuff. Real-time problem solving. I know me, I'm an older Generation Z. We are moving away from face-to-face contact for whatever reason. We are more digital. We see that in the day-to-day in hospitality, right? You can check into a room now from your phone. We don't have to talk to anybody face-to-face anymore. So making sure that you're using your social media as a way to connect with guests. If they have a problem, if they have a question, etc., social listening, making sure that you're paying attention to those direct messages is extremely important. Showcasing on-site and off-site perks. Again, this is super important because I know a lot of hotels partner with, restaurants and bars and places in the area. Great content to post about, not only speaking of stage 3, but stage 1 and stage 2 as well. This example, hey, if you bring your room key to this restaurant, you'll get a discount. And this can be for on-site as well. This is obviously an example for off-site, but again, going back to that, if you have a market downstairs, showcasing this stuff so they know what's going on while they're there. And UGC. I don't know how many times I'm going to mention UGC, but it's probably the most important thing when thinking about a hotel strategy, because again, people trust it. People believe other people more than they're going to just believe your property. So some ways you can get some UGC. A guest checked in. You say, hey, I know you're probably going to take a lot of pictures while you're here. Feel free to send us those. We'd love to connect with you on social media. We'd love to post that. If you post on social media your photos, make sure to tag us. We'd love to engage. We'd love to repost. Another simple way is to run a contest. Post on social media like, hey, we're running a fan of the week contest. Send us your best photo from your stay. We'll pick one and you'll win a free dinner or whatever you want your prize to be. And lastly, stage 4, post-stay. Do these guests want to stay connected? They've gone, they've checked out, they're on their way. A lot of the times they don't really care anymore. They're going to unfollow you. What can we post to make sure that they want to stay engaged with our property? Thank them for staying. This is one of the easiest things you can do, especially if there was an event in your area. Excuse me, you had an event on property like this one. The Inn at Entrada had a pickleball tournament, and they posted after, hey, thanks for coming. You guys killed it. We can't wait to see you next year at the next one. This is so simple. It makes those people feel like, hey, we're a part of the family at the Inn at Entrada, right? Thank those people for staying. Encourage them to come back. 2, encourage reviews. This is, I know most likely everybody is encouraging people to leave reviews online. Use those good reviews on your social media. If you're like, hey, I don't really know what to post this week, reviews. Take a screenshot or make a simple graphic out of it, post it on your social media. That's UGC too. That's a part of UGC. Turn guests into brand advocates. I loved this example I saw a couple weeks ago. This hotel wrote on the mirror, welcome back, with his name, enjoy your stay. He took a photo of himself with it and posted it with the hashtag of the hotel name. That's free advertising, and this hotel had to do nothing but put a simple note on the mirror. Hey, welcome back. We're so happy you're here. Super, super important to turn your guests into brand advocates. Give them a reason or a purpose for posting about your property online. And lastly, retargeting campaigns. We already talked about running those ads in the first place to get their attention. After they've stayed with you, you have their phone number, you have their email. Run some retargeting campaigns a few weeks later, a month later. Hey, we miss you. If you come back, 15% off your stay, or just a simple, we miss you, come back and stay with us kind of retargeting campaign. This just keeps you front of mind for these guests that, may say, hey, we really liked that place, actually. We should make this a trip every year. So I know this has been a lot of information, but I want to go back to this visual of the bridge, right? We had these 4 stages, these 4 support columns, super important, right? When we think about Travel Media Group and what we do for our hotel partners, we like to consider ourselves bridge builders, right? We want to make sure when we build this strategy, we're speaking to the traveler at stage 1, 2, 3, and 4. If we think about this bridge that we have here and we were to pull out number 3, we don't have a bridge anymore. That doesn't work, right? The bridge, we're not connecting those people from 2 to 4, right? We are not able to get them across anymore. So when you think about your strategy specifically, what would you rate it? How strong is your bridge, right? If you're on the lower end, now you may know where you're missing, right? So it's really easy visually to keep this in mind, the 4 different stages, those 4 big questions. Make sure you're answering those questions when you post, right? Super important. So with all of this in mind, I know this has been a lot of information. I also apologize that I sound sick, but we are so excited for this year, this social success series, and I'm so glad that all of you were in attendance. Again, I want to talk about the importance of this bridge because it's the beginning of the year, right? You have the whole year ahead of you to reevaluate your strategy, get your strategy started moving into the year. So with this in mind, I want to launch this poll. Are you interested in learning more about TMG's social media solution? Yes, no. If you're not sure, you're kind of on the fence, you want to learn more, click that C. Not sure, we'd love to just connect with you, talk with you. We know, especially for our Hilton properties, that Hilton is running some social media audits now. And we're having these conversations every day with our hotel partners, right? To make sure that when this audit is done, they're in good standing. We know what's happening for the future, that they're all in a good place. So I want to keep this poll up just for a second. Please let us know if you're interested. Again, if you're not sure, click that button. Just if you have any questions, you need some advice, you want us to look at your social media for you, we love to connect, we would love to talk. But yeah, this has been a lot of information. And again, like I said, the recording will be sent to you. Hopefully with all the information we've gone over, you may be thinking, you know, a lot of these examples didn't really apply to my hotel. They do, trust me. Even though some of the examples I used have great views or they're on the beach, etc., every hotel can take these same applications and make it work for your property, right? Everyone has a view of a sunset. You take a photo of the sunset from one of your hotel rooms, that's great social media content, right? It doesn't always have to be 5-star photos, perfectly shot. People just want to see exactly what your property is and what they can expect. So with that all being said, thank you so much for attending today. Here is my contact information, my phone number, and my email. Also connect with me on LinkedIn. I am always on LinkedIn, so feel free to connect with me there, message me, but I'll leave this up for a second in case anybody wants it.